And welcome back to another episode of Cats Cup Podcast. You're with your hosts, Christian and Mean Bean Cody Green. And we have a very special guest here tonight. We have the greatest hitter in all of baseball history, Ryan Nicholson. What is up?
That's a heck of an introduction. You guys are really pumping my tires with that one. So appreciate that.
Hey, I mean, gotta give credit where credit's due. Bro, he's out there hitting dingers last year. Going yard.
Yes, sir.
Ryan, if you don't care, just tell us a little bit about how you got into baseball. Like, what was your first step? Like, was it minor leagues, little leagues, or like the minor leagues, or like
Yeah,
T-ball?
I don't know, man. I think my earliest memories just like I was just given a bat and a ball when I was a kid. I would just go in the backyard. I would just throw it up and hit it, and go to the other end of the backyard and hit it to the other side. I think I would do that countless times, and then yeah, like my parents put me in like t-ball, how every kid is, and I loved it. I loved the game. I loved going out there and playing, as much as I could. Um, and then you go from there to kid pitch and stuff like that, and I kept on liking the challenge, and I loved playing with my friends especially, and I was good at it. Like I liked doing it. I loved to do it when I wasn't playing. I'd watch movies. I would do whatever. Like I would go to the beach and bring the skinny yellow bat and the wiffle ball. Like I would do all that all the time, and I loved it, and I kept it going.
Now, was baseball the sport you knew you were going to grow up playing, or did you like baseball or basketball, football?
Yeah, I think baseball was the one that I knew like I excelled the best at. I remember like I played basketball too and football as well, and it just like I played football and I liked it. I just knew that I knew that I was like really good at baseball for my age, and like I practiced it the most. I found it to become the easiest, honestly, of all of them, even though in reality it's probably the hardest. I love basketball. I love the competitive energy and just talking trash and basketball and everything about it. And, football is football, and I mean it captivates me every Sunday. But for whatever reason, like baseball just had this thing with me growing up, and I stuck with it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, like, when did you, like, find your, like, final batting stance? Or, like, is it still a work of art? Like, are you still working on it, trying to tweak
Yeah,
it
I'd
here
say
and
like
there?
I'm
Or,
always just kind of like my batting stance. Like it's just like it's more of like what I need to do to like feel what I want to feel in my swing. Um, I'd say I started doing that when I was a sophomore in college at University of Cincinnati. That's just like me and my hitting coach at the time, Lee Sponseller, really close friend. Um, we were just kind of messing around with some things in the cage, and I started doing that in a drill. And he was like, if your body wants to do that, if that's something that feels comfortable with you, and you feel like you get in a really good position to launch when you're in that position, then I would just stick with it. If that's what your body wants to do, let it be. And then started doing that my sophomore year. I hit pretty well and just kind of continue it. There's like usually some always like minor tweaks and adjustments. That just comes with the game, and hitting and how hitting is. But yeah, I'd probably say it started like 2021. So
heck yeah.
Gotcha. So you had 4 good years. It was 4 years at Cincy, right? You're at four. You were 4 years, and it
yeah,
was your fifth year at UK. What was that transition like? I know they're not far at all. I mean, it's really close. Um, what was the transition like going from Cincinnati to UK, and why did you go to UK after Cincinnati?
the transition was interesting. I never really saw myself like in how the portal is now, like how everyone leaves and jumps around. I never really saw myself as someone who wanted to do that. I wanted to be loyal to the team or the school that I went to. I was loyal to Cincinnati. I wanted to stay there. I had, the guys you go in with, I wanted to be with them for the whole time. And our coach ended up getting let go. We were doing a coaching change at the end of my senior year, and I had 1 year left. Just freshman year got banged because COVID. So I was kind of put in a spot where I was like, all right, like, I might get drafted, I might not. My senior year, I have 1 year left. Um, like, let me just go in the portal and just see what happens. I could still go back to Cincy if I wanted to. I gotta wait and see like if I like the coach that they bring in at Cincy.
Yeah.
And then I went in the portal, and I started getting like a lot of attention from SEC schools, which I really wasn't anticipating. So that was kind of an eye opener. And then all the NIL BS kind of gets thrown in there. And then I was like, all right, now I kind of have like a decision to make. Um, and it came down at the end of the day to like going back to Cincy or UK. And I wanted, at the end of the day, like I wanted to, like, I thought that Cincy was going to be a really good team, and they were a really good team. I thought honestly we were going to play them in our regional, and I was actually getting really nervous because I did not want to play them at all. Um, but I thought I was given some advice from my dad. He was just like, you know, if you want to play in the next level, like you got to showcase like your ability at like the highest level in college baseball. And one of the scouts for the Angels was like, like we want to see you like against like the best competition, and we think if you do that and like you show out, like we're gonna take you. So I ended up making the decision go to UK. I've known UK ever since I've moved to Kentucky. My brother went there. He graduated last year from there, and that was another like selling point to be close to him. My parents, it's like 50-minute drive from Louisville. I had a lot of friends, like a lot of really close friends, go there, graduate there. So and it was still like really close to home. I didn't know if I wanted to go like somewhere super duper far away.
Mhm.
That wasn't me. Um, so I think all those factors combining them, I thought UK was the best decision to go with there.
So, with all the antics, that's what I'll say, that you guys did in the dugouts,
Yeah,
how much like crap did you guys get from other teams, like that we didn't see like on TV or
oh, a
people at the
ton,
games?
a ton. I wasn't. I feel like the antics that like our dugout did for like
Yeah.
they're all like pitchers mainly, or like guys, or like younger guys. Um, so like being in the field, like you just see them just kind of like doing whatever or trying to cause attention to themselves.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was like interesting. I remember Florida hated it the most, um, but like it was so like unserious and so like different where people people were like, what is this? Like what like no one's ever seen that before where like you're allowed to do everything and allowed to just kind of be an idiot in the dugout and just yell wherever
Mhm.
you want. But as long as we were focused on the game and trying to pump our own guys up, like I don't think Coach Minch cared too much, but he just wanted to try and like stir the pot a little bit, but in like a good way, keep the guys involved. A lot of times when you're not in the game, it can be a little bit of a drag, but I feel like when you're getting the other guys, in the dugout together, that was creating a good recipe, and we kind of started creating our own momentum, which kind of helped us on the field and the pitchers, up there on the mound. But yeah, we caught a lot of heat from a lot of different teams, but at the end of the day, we were winning. So, I mean, that's what they were like. They can't say too much if we were winning, so they would also just get pissed at us just because
Yeah.
we were winning and then we were doing all that stupid stuff basically. So they were getting like extra mad, like we were like taunting them. We weren't really taunting them. We were just trying to like draw attention from them away from the game and onto us. Like if they were paying attention
Yeah.
to us, then we thought that we were winning. If they're paying attention more to the game, then it's a fair game. But we want to just take their attention away. That was the main deal, really.
Can you guys hear that too?
I hear it. Yeah, sounds like a plane.
Bro, so I've recently just moved, and I tell you what, I hear the most random crap at the latest hours of the night. There's trains that go by at like 11:30 at night and just hold the horn down the whole time. And I gotta wake up early for work. I gotta be at work at like 7:30, and I drive 30 minutes. Trains, planes. I mean, you never know what's next. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Right, are your family, are they Louisville fans? Are they all
I'd say
Louisville
now they're
fans?
UK fans, considering
Okay, good.
Converted them.
my brother both went to UK. When we moved to Louisville from Chicago, we were pretty unbiased. Obviously, like we didn't have like a dog in the fight between the two. My dad had a job working for the KFC Yum Center, so like he was like affiliated with Louisville basketball, I guess, but like not really like with the university. But yeah, I'd say now like UK over Louisville definitely. Just when your parents are paying tuition for two kids, and both those kids also went there, so.
Speaking of chicken, you brought up KFC, the center. Um, what do you think? Who do you think has the best chicken sandwich?
Mm,
Probably Popeyes.
yes.
That
If we're being honest,
that's
we're
right.
if we're not going to beat around the bush here, I think you got to go with like Popeye spicy, and then like I mean, if you want something stock like yeah, like Chick Fil A, like Chick Fil A is solid, I guess. But like if you're like, hey, like we're talking about chicken sandwiches here,
Yeah,
like, put them all together. I think you put Popeyes at numero uno.
Yeah.
that's
Agreed.
right. Agreed. See, me and Cody, we've gotten burnt out on Chick Fil A because Blake, who's on the podcast with us, he's just not on here tonight. He loves Chick Fil A, and anytime we road trip, like we're eating, he like somehow veers us onto a path that has just a Chick Fil A on it, nothing else,
Right.
and so we eat it like 4 times, and like we
Well,
don't even.
well, the other guy, the older guy that's with us, he used to be all of our he was our youth pastor for all three of us. So anytime we took a youth trip for church or anywhere, it was always Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, and it was rare that we went to Zaxby's. Zaxby's was another one, but it was always
Jesus,
Chick-fil-A.
I don't know if I would go there for a chicken sandwich, but like, I don't know. I haven't been to Chick Fil A honestly in a minute. I've been trying to like stay healthy. But yeah, I don't even had a Popeyes chicken sandwich in a minute. Maybe me and my brother will go sometime.
Yeah, we've tempted you now.
He's going after the
I
podcast.
think
He's door dashing it right now.
yeah, I'll be like $45.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. But Ryan, so what went into your thought process on picking a walkout song? Like what was it down to, or did you just always know what it was going to be, or did you have like 2 or 3 that you were kind of bouncing between?
I kind of like do like a vibe check.
Uh huh.
I've had like different ones all through college. I try to do something different than like the classic like rap song or whatever's popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a big like Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. I had a Red Hot Chili Pepper song the end of my senior season at UC, and I brought it over to UK, and I didn't hit great with it, so I switched it. It's always kind of based on like how I'm hitting.
Yeah.
But I loved, and me and my old roommate at Cincy, JP Sponsor, my hitting coach's younger brother. We loved the movie Surfs Up, and we would always just like watch it and like reference it all the time.
Yeah.
And like one of the songs in that movie is "Drive" by Incubus, and I was like, I'm Cody Maverick. Like I'm walking up to the plate, like I'm Cody Maverick. I'm that guy,
Yeah.
and I don't really care what anyone thinks. I don't care if people like it. If they don't, I don't care at all. I'm gonna use it. I used it, and I started raking with it. So I'm like, all right, I'm not changing it. And then the other one I had, the other one I had was Even Flow by Pearl Jam, and that one also was just like from like the Skate 3 videos that you guys see when they're doing like
Yeah.
the Jesus Christ or whatever. Like I thought that was hilarious. And so I did that one and I started hitting with it too. And then like people were talking about like, oh, like, that one's different. Like I like it. And I was like, all right, like, well, I'm gonna keep mine then. So I kept those. I liked them. They were different. I usually like to pick ones that like, people like remember like the song, and then they're like, oh, like I like that one guy's song like that he had for his walk up. It wasn't like
Yeah.
some super stock, which I thought a lot of the guys had like some good ones. Like everyone loved Walchman's this year. Everyone they had like the hand movement or whatever for it. So I thought that was cool. Like we had a good plethora of good walk up songs this year.
So I don't know if you're in the mind to change one, but let me just give you like maybe a one at bat song. You ready? The Ultimate Warriors theme song. I feel like that could get anybody juiced up.
I mean, yeah, if you're that would be like I always thought like for something like for longer, like I've always like heard songs from like damn, that'd be like a really good pitcher walkout.
Uh-huh.
So that'd probably be a solid walk, like pitcher walkout, especially if like just trotting in from the pen, trying to get your mind right, like having whatever song you picked, like just absolutely blaring over the loudspeaker for you to come in and either get out of a jam or close a game. I always thought that was really cool. But yeah, that would probably be solid.
So what is your like all time favorite like baseball movie? Like what's that? Like you think it's
Uh,
like top tier, best one?
I love the movie. I loved the movie Rookie of the Year growing up with the Cubs. I'm a
Uh-huh.
Cubs fan. Or I was a Cubs fan now with the Angels organization. But I loved that movie growing up. I'd watch it all
Yeah.
the time. And then I don't know. You can't beat your classics with the Sandlot and
Oh yeah.
there's other ones like that. But yeah,
So,
for just the one that's a little different. I don't know. I loved Rookie of the Year.
see
About it, I love.
see my favorite is Major League,
Major League
and
is
yeah.
another one I can. That's a solid pick.
So I had the haircut like not too long ago, and I work at a bank,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I had to get rid of it.
Yeah,
But it
that
was
probably makes sense. Yeah.
but like see, I used to be a huge Guardians fan, well, Indians fan before they changed into the Guardians, and then
Right.
I switched to the Reds. It also helps that it's a little closer. But Cody, he's a big Guards fan. Um, but yeah, I'd love that movie because my family's from Cleveland, so
Mm-hmm.
like used to be diehard Cleveland everything,
Right.
and yeah, so that movie's always been top tier for me because there's only one thing left to do: win the whole thing.
Right.
I love that movie.
Great movie. The second
Yeah.
one's also pretty good too. You don't really find that.
Oh yeah,
The sequel's good. I think the third one's not so good, but
no, it's
the first two were solid.
yeah,
Definitely.
no doubt, no doubt. So when you were drafted by the Angels, how did that process go? Did they like give you like a phone call, or was there like a email, or how does all that?
It's a phone call. And you're in contact with your advisor
Uh-huh.
the whole time. I remember like I was just trying to get. It was like day two. I was just trying to get my mind off of it. I think me and my dad we went to Top Golf, and I was just like checking the rounds, like checking to see if I'm getting any texts or calls. Like I'm getting texts from my advisor, like, hey, like thinking about this round, or like I'm thinking about this one. Like this org's talking to me right now about you. Like we might hear something soon, stuff like that. And you're just kind of like sitting by the phone, like, all right, like what's the deal here? Like, is this gonna happen? Like, um, so yeah, it's pretty stressful. Not gonna lie, it's pretty stressful. But yeah, like once I got the call from my advisor, and they're saying like, hey, like Angels are gonna take you in this next round. Like, be ready. Like, should be getting a call here soon. Um, and then I got the call from the Angels. They're like, excited like to have like I got the call. There was like a bunch of people like clapping in the background for the pick or whatever. They're
Uh-huh.
like really excited to have you. This person is gonna send over the email and information. Can't wait to have you. Like, we'll see you on this next, I think it was like the next Saturday or something. So I got on a plane like within a week, and I had like Arizona spring training complex and signed a lot of papers, did like the medical stuff, and got ready to go from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So like where are you currently like at in cuz I know so the college season ended like kind of into the MLB season. So like
Hmm.
like do you automatically just get put in like
Yeah,
into their farm system
yeah.
or
So you get drafted basically, and then you go straight to like the spring training complex basically, put you through all the medical BS that you get through.
yeah.
You do like a draft camp thing, which is they'll put you through like how the organization wants you to do things on the field. They make sure you're in shape and how if your arm's good, or for pitchers. For pitchers, really they shut down most pitchers unless you're like a reliever.
Mm,
Um, but like most position players will be like, all right, like, are you ready to go? If you're a college guy, get drafted, and you're a position player, excuse me, they'll basically just send you out like right at, like probably within 2 weeks after the draft. It depends on the organization, but it varies. But I got sent to low A. I was there from like I got drafted I think middle of August or middle of July,
uh-huh.
and then I was sent to San Bernardino like August 1st. So it's not very long, just playing games there, and then I got promoted at the end of I got promoted like early September to Double A, and then season ended shortly after that. But yeah, just throw you right in there. Like, you're already in baseball shape. You're already you played a whole college season, and you got to get ready to play a whole lot more games the next year. So might as well just throw you into the fire.
Yeah. That's solid. That's solid. So, um I asked you this before the podcast, but so who is like one pitcher like you thought that you like had their number? Like when they hit the mound or you saw them coming out of the pen, like you were like, all right, if this one's going yard, like you
Yeah,
just knew.
I don't know if I've ever like if some guys coming out there were like, all right, like I'm definitely hitting a home here off this guy. More just like it's more just like, oh, I see this guy well, or some guys come out and you're like, I do not see this guy well at all. Like, it's gonna be an uphill battle. But there were some guys. There was a guy on Xavier. I don't remember his name. I just remember his number. But he was a. I saw him pretty well. I thought I hit him. I hit him pretty well. Um, like I was telling you before about like on UK, like when we have scrimmages, like
Uh-huh.
scrimmages can get very competitive. Coach Minch wants them to be extremely competitive, so you got to have some thick skin. You got to be able to take some heat, especially from your teammates from the dugout. But I was telling you earlier, like I lived with uh, two pitchers and two hitters. I was on the bottom floor with Noel McCarthy, and then I was on the top floor with Ryan Hagenow and Evan Byers. So we always loved the battle of me and Nolan versus them too. Um, so like when they were throwing, I remember like if they were throwing that day in a scrimmage, like me and Nolan would just wake up and just start blaring music like that. We were gonna like just trying to like intimidate them or something. Uh, but I saw Hags like okay, like I never like absolutely like crushed anything off him, but I got some singles out there. But I didn't see Nolan or I didn't see Byers that well. He got me pretty good. Um, trying to think, no one did anything off of them. I honestly don't remember, but I think there was also a reliever on Auburn that we saw throughout the weekend. Excuse me, but
You're good.
yeah, I think there was a reliever out there on Auburn that I was probably like licking my chops or whatever when he came out there. I don't remember. I just remember maybe his pitching motion where I was like, okay, like this is something that I think I could do something with, but
Uh-huh.
um, yeah, never like going out there, walking up to the plate where you're like, it's never about like the pitcher. I'm like, all right, like I'm good. Just I need to get to my point. Need to get to where I can launch from early and do some damage. But it's never like like I own this dude. Like this. So like I don't usually think like I try to like keep a really slow heartbeat when I'm going
uh,
to the batter's box. Not try to wind myself up too much.
uh,
But yeah, those I'd say those guys that mentioned if I wouldn't even say I own them. I probably just like had a couple barrels off of them. But
yeah. So being on the team that went with Kentucky for the first time to Omaha, that had to be just exciting.
it was uh it was ridiculous to be honest. Like when we won and beat Oregon State when we got that last out, I was like I blacked out. I didn't know. I was like, we're going to Omaha, but it really didn't feel. I was like, wait, so like we're like one of the 8 teams, like gonna be there in Omaha. We're gonna be there and play games. But yeah, it was ridiculous. Like the atmosphere and everything. It's just hard to describe, really. Like
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's like I don't know, everything they do for you. ESPN puts up everything like interviews and press conferences and videos, like all this just leading up to like the games.
yeah, I mean, even like just being a Kentucky fan, it's like baseball's. I mean, it's been coming up a little bit, but it hasn't been like massive. And like even like with the crowd and the bleachers, like they had to add more bleachers this year
Yeah,
because so many people were going to the games.
that was really
And
cool. I love that when we were practicing and they were like, or the AD came in, they were like, hey, like when Mitch Barnard came in, like we had a meeting. He's like, we're adding bleachers. Like we're gonna add them. Like we're gonna make this thing like really cool.
uh,
We were all pumped when we were out there practicing and they're building the thing, and I was like, this is gonna be sweet. Like this is for the regional and super. Like it was packed out. It was an insane atmosphere to be in. It was awesome.
yeah, and man, when Kentucky fans get behind something, they go crazy. And I thought it was crazy how fast they got it all put together. Because like it was just like, yeah, we're adding them, and like 2 or 3 days later, it's in. And I was like, oh, I was like thinking it's gonna be like they're adding them in for like next year,
Hmm.
and they're like, no, boom, and it's in there.
I just remember I remember we were at Mizzou, and I want to say this was like the second or third week of SEC play, and we were following the basketball game against Oakland. Like
Uh,
we were practicing, but like we had one of our assistant coaches like had the game on his phone. Everyone's gonna ask like, hey, like what's the time? How much time we got? Like everything about the game. And at the end, he was like, all right, like we lost, and everyone's pissed, everyone's upset. We're like,
yeah,
what? Well, what the heck happened? Like, how did this happen? But then we had like, then we had a meeting at the end of the practice, and like Coach Minch was talking about like this is us now. Like we're the last like main sport, right? Like we're the last one. We need to give like the fans something to rally behind.
uh,
And that's when like we saw like if it was nice on a home weekend, I was like we were making our games pretty rowdy. We would see the Lions. We'd be like, all right, like we got to give them a show, right? So I thought, and then we just kept gaining momentum, especially at home. Excuse me, with the fans, like it was every weekend we were getting more and more and more people, and
uh,
it was so much fun to play behind. I mean, we had so much fun just playing at home. we felt like we were invincible at home. So it was nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you know this team last year has convinced me to buy season tickets for this year. Um, it also helps. I just moved like I'm 30 minutes from Lexington now. It used to be about
Mm-hmm.
2 hours, but so that helped out a little bit on that decision. But yeah, I'm excited for baseball this year. I can't wait. And bro, you were like honestly, you were one of my favorite players. And then when you started like we DM'd you and you were DMing back, I was like, bro, this I'm so hyped right now. So we are hyped you joined us tonight. Cody actually his internet crashed. So he's texting me. He's like, so I might not be back on the pod tonight. So that's why Cody dipped out. But I do know that you are a Chicago sports fan.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately.
so right, if let's say the Bears just contact you, they're like, hey, we want to make you the GM. What's the first move you make?
First move I make,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hiring Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel, whichever one. Like, um, I don't even know if I want to be the GM for the Bears. Like, because the owner, George McCaskey, who's been there since I was like, I don't know how old.
Uh-huh.
I think he's been there since like 2012, maybe some around there.
Uh-huh.
He's just, I don't know. He's very an incompetent owner, in my opinion. Like, I just, it's just not good how the Bears organization is run. Everybody in Chicago is just fed up with it. Everyone wants the Bears to be competent and competitive
Uh-huh.
and just like make the playoffs and like do well. Like that's like we don't even need like to win a Super Bowl. Like we just want to be like a contender, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying. I was at that Seattle Thursday night game. I was there. It was
Oh.
bad. There was a lot of sell the team chants. I was partaking a little bit, um, but yeah, it's just like just watching your team just do the same thing over and over and not really not really do anything you know that you like to see. Like firing Eberflus was like I thought that was like 4 or 5 games like too late. Like
Uh-huh.
it's I don't know. I really hope they do well just with making this next hire.
Uh-huh.
They never really hire anyone that's like high status, and that's kind of annoying. Like you're class of the league. Like you're one of the most like storied franchises in all the NFL, and like you can't figure it out. Like it's stressful. It's annoying. Like I just want my teams to be good. My teams have been bad for so long. Like I saw something on Twitter where it was like over the past like 7 years, like Boston has won like over like 150 something playoff games like through like baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Um, like Atlanta's like somewhere high. So is like the Bay Area. So is I'm trying to think of the other one. Like Tampa's also high up there too. And like Chicago in the last 7 years for baseball, basketball, football, and hockey have 2 playoff wins. And one of them is like a play in game for the Bulls. And the other one is the White Sox against like the Astros in 2021.
Well,
It's just,
I mean, at least the Bears didn't trade 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. You
yeah.
can always hold your head high knowing the Bears did not make that move.
Yeah, I mean, like the Bears, like they got those picks from Carolina, but like
Uh-huh.
those picks really haven't done anything. DJ Moore's kind of being a diva right now. With he's talking about going to vacation already. The season's not even over yet. Like probably not a great look.
Yeah.
Um, Everyone's talking about like, oh, Caleb Williams sucks. Like, yeah, he's had like a weird rookie year. Just it's been
Oh,
weird.
no doubt.
He's looked great sometimes. I think he's way better than Justin Fields, which I think is like the what's the point? Like we took him to be better than Justin Fields, and he is in his rookie year. I think he's going to be better. If the Bears just need to draft offensive and defensive linemen, like you need somebody to protect this kid. If the Bears draft like anybody else and it doesn't say O line or D line, I'll be upset. 100%.
Hey, listen. There, at one point the Browns were supposed to be picking like about 10 to 15. That tackle at LSU, Will Campbell. I mean,
I saw a video on him on Twitter, and I liked how he was like talking about, like defensive lineman's job and like got to be a protector and all that. So I liked what he was saying. If he wants to be a Bear, I mean that'd be sweet, but I just need someone to protect and someone to protect the quarterback and then someone to get to the quarterback because right now neither are working in Chicago.
Yeah. See, I mean, I know a few pass rushers that are pretty stout. You can't have Miles. It's my dude. It's the only hope we got in Cleveland right now. But I mean, there's some hidden free agency. Might take a chance on like Chase Young or something.
You guys got Jameis though, so at least it's entertaining.
Hey, well, not anymore. We're starting Bailey Zappi for Week 18.
Zappi? At least that's better than DTR because he just didn't.
Gosh, he's so bad. He's the worst quarterback I've ever seen play. I don't know why we drafted. Okay, I saw a thing on Twitter. I know this has nothing to do with Kentucky sports at all, but I saw on Twitter it said the Browns took DTR before Puka Nacua and Chase Brown. Those were like the two picks right after DTR was picked.
Yeah, Puka is that was a great pick by them. But yeah, DTR is an interesting pick.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But we'll circle back to baseball real quick. So, what is your favorite pitch to hit? Like you see it coming down, and you're like, okay, that's what that is. Let's get ready. And like,
I'd say it's a hanging breaking ball. Like fastballs are always nice, but you don't always get those. Like a hanging breaking ball. If you see a hanging breaking ball and you like feel that you're on time for it, there's nothing better than catching it, and then you already get the backspin. Yeah, a hanging breaking ball, easily for me. You get more distance, and it just feels better.
Heck yeah. Well, Ryan, we appreciate you hopping on the podcast with us here tonight. But before we go, we always like to close out the podcast with a Bible verse. I don't know if you got one together or not, but I'll go ahead and go real quick. Let me pull my Bible up. I had it saved. It's Romans 12:2. And do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable in the perfect will of God. I like that verse because it pretty much says like all the stuff that's of the world and what it has to offer can lead you astray and can put you in these predicaments that, I mean, even outside of just a religious standpoint, like some of the stuff the world has to offer can just like put you in these horrible predicaments, places you normally wouldn't want to be at in life, and just takes you away from the Lord, and just like, just in them bad predicaments. I just won't elaborate on that. But, sometimes all that happens, but when you stay close to the Lord and don't give in to those aspects, it just helps out a ton, and you get closer to God and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. But, did you get a verse?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you're fine. You're fine, brother.
I was a little busy before this and hopped on late, but
no,
yeah,
you're
sorry,
fine, man.
No,
you're good.
Great.
But man, we appreciate you hopping on. It's been truly an honor, and we're excited to see what you do coming up in the through the minors and into the majors here soon. And we appreciate your time at Kentucky.
Thank you for having me. I mean, this was fun. I love talking about UK, and what we did last year was super fun. So can't thank you guys enough for having me on. I mean, this was really cool.
We appreciate it. And as always, go Cats.